I hate that word actually, because everyone's a gamer. You know, people who play solitaire on the computer are gamers. A game is just a set of rules, and with a goal state. And so, if your mom has ever played checkers, even if she's never played Mario, she's still a gamer.
It's much more inclusive. They're saying, look, this is for everybody, whereas with the video game advertising, it's saying, no, this isn't for everybody. This is just for the 28-year-old guy who doesn't have a life and wants to spend all his time playing God of War or whatever.
I think different people have used video games in different ways. Like for me, I like a lot of different types of games. So like, if I want to wind down, I'll play something more of a casual game. But if I really want to get involved in a story or a narrative, I'll play something a little more complex.
So we have this really dynamic conversation, and I think a lot of it is still because the game industry is mostly male. Interestingly enough, so the industry is around 11% female, and of those, most of them are actually not in design. Most of them are in like human resources and marketing. What I'm trying to do very actively is cultivate a new generation of female game designers, because I just think having more women in design is going to help no matter what. My classes typically have a ratio that's about twice the industry average. It's still not as much as I'd like to see, but it's 20%, so that's better than 11%, right?
After taking Celia's class and stuff, the more I realized that women are a huge market, and I think that we as game developers need to take advantage of that, because we can make a lot of money there.
So I was trying to show them, look, there's all these stereotypes that are breaking down, and let's try to make more games that address that. In the class, I have some constraints, like I don't let them have any killing in their games. They have to make a game that somebody other than them would like to play, which is a big problem. I think a lot of male game designers think that their idea of fun is the most important thing, and they just focus on that. And I try to keep them away from like classic cliches, like they can't have post-apocalyptic scenarios, they can't have medieval fantasy. There's just a bunch of things that are sort of categorically eliminated from the array of choices. Alien invasions is another one I've added. So once I do that, then they start doing really interesting things. Like you saw the games today. One of them's making a game about a dream. One of them made a game about matchmaking called Cupid. These games are really different from what you would see, and I want the students to be conscious. Otherwise, when people come to my class who are gamers, they tend to just want to make the games that they've played, and that's something that I hope by the end of the semester they're going to see beyond that and see that they want to try to make something new and different.
For the class, we're making a game that's tentatively called Nightmares. So basically the premise is that you're a little kid running through your nightmares and trying to wake up and make it to your parents' room. And so the motif of a nightmare really allows us to explore a lot with different mechanics and different, with the art style and stuff like that.
Create by casual games that are accessible to lots of people, that you can just kind of pick up and play, that are fun, but also they have some sort of depth to them. They're not just like a puzzle game, some kind of emotional connection. So we like to put stories with our games that can kind of like a Tetris type game, playable, but like with some kind of background story you can connect to. Hopefully continue and even spread outside of like Facebook and iPhones, and maybe just get more people involved. Gaming will take yet another notch up in the social realm.
Well, I want more narrative-based games. There's a couple that are starting to come out now, but a lot of them have really poor writing or just big flaws in them. I'd really like to see people try to push a really strong adult, not as in like mature theme, just a well-written game that comes out that's just about the story, not about shooting a bunch of Space Marines.
Yeah, airplanes. I was going to say, airplanes have games that you can play with, the other people on the plane. So you could, like, if that got cheaper, like, technology-wise, you might be seeing that in like movie theaters before movies, or like waiting in restaurants, that kind of thing. Just more social settings where you don't actually know anyone, gaming kind of helps to bridge that gap